What if they made a hotel just for you? And by you, I mean someone who travels all the time, like a global nomad. What do you think that would look like?
Well, I think that would be really interesting, especially if they had like all of the facilities you needed, like laundry, like, things that global nomads need, like kitchens and things like that, since they're never...
A place to make
kitchens.
your food, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out someone did. They made a hotel for global nomads. It's called CitizenM. The M is for mobile. And we're staying in one right now in London. Today, we're going to explore CitizenM, and we'll talk about what mobile citizens like us really want. This is the Elliott Confidential Podcast. I'm Christopher Elliott, and I'm here with Aaron Elliott and Aiden Elliott. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Molto bene.
Molto bene. Me too. And in this episode, we're talking about global nomads. A little later, we're also going to read your comments from last week. We had some great comments. And we'll tell you a couple of our secrets. It's not called the Elliott Confidential Podcast for nothing. But first, this week's question, which is, which hotel have you felt the most at home in? Whether you're staying at a small country inn or a big chain hotel, I want to know where you felt like you were right at home. It's that feeling, that feeling that you get where you walk in the room and you just feel like, it's like almost like being at home. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. That's funny to say that as a global nomad. You don't have a home.
I know.
So, like, what do you mean feels like home?
Yeah, if I were to say one place, it would be wherever we stayed in. I forget the exact name, but we were in French Hook, South Africa.
Oh, we were staying at an actual house that...
Le Clé de Montagne.
Yeah, that was nice. And they had made it like a residence. It was a residence actually before.
And they also had some incredible BGM there.
What is BGM?
Background music.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they played just... if you felt like you were in a Disney movie.
All right, let's bring in some BGM right now. And let's check into the CitizenM. As you walk into the hotel, the first thing that you notice is the BGM. They've got the soundtrack, like chill hop, cool vibe when you walk in, and...
Yeah, I don't even know how I would explain that. It's just, it's like, there's a techno music, yeah.
It's London,
The thing about London that I've really realized is that they have a much different relationship with music than the French do, for example. So, like, you can walk down the road and you hear some pretty nice beats. Like, the British really love drums and beats. Drum and bass music originated from the United Kingdom, and so they love this very drum-heavy music. It's very groovy, and you hear music everywhere. And whenever you hear music, it's always like something you probably have never heard of. It sounds familiar. You think, oh, it's just going to be more pop music or something like that, but it's very unique here.
Yeah, we were in a restaurant yesterday, and they had this like reggae music. It wasn't Bob Marley, but it sounded like Bob Marley, but it was something else. It actually sounded really good. Mm-hmm. So here we are in the lobby of the CitizenM near the Tower of London. We're listening to this chill hop music, and we're checking in, and it is completely self-service. Mm-hmm. I think this is the best self-service check-in experience that I've ever had, where you walk in, you see a screen, you type in your name, and then what happens? Because we all checked in on a separate screen. So how was it for you guys?
Well, I would say for me it's fascinating because you just check in, you put in your credit card for incidentals and for, the bill. They also don't have a mini bar here, which is great. But after that, you take a key card. They have a bunch of demagnetized cards, and they'll magnetize it for you right there. Yeah. And so you can check in just doing that. But also another thing that's very cool.
Oh wait, you can also use their app. If you have their app downloaded, you can use their app.
Yeah, exactly. So you can use their app to not just check in or expedite the process, but you can also use the app to, let's say you have a room here and you've checked in, but for whatever reason you want the AC to be on full blast when you arrive. Well, you can actually go on the app. You can crank up the AC. And when you come back, it will be the Antarctic.
So you go upstairs to the 6th floor, which is where we are right now, and you walk into the room, and what do you see, Aiden?
Well, you see that half the room is a bed. It's pretty crazy. Right now, you're sitting on the bed.
I am. We are actually recording this inside Aaron's room at the CitizenM.
We each have our own room. Each of these rooms are perfectly sized for one person. I would definitely not recommend sharing a room unless you really, really know the person very, very well.
Really.
But past that, it is the perfect size for one person. So half the room is this huge, very comfortable bed, and the other half is a sink/bathroom/shower setup. It's all kind of merged into one area to save on room, but it works just fine. And yeah, I mean, it's very compact, but also, what's the word?
It's compact.
It's cozy.
But
it's cozy in a good way.
No, not cozy. I was going to say efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to just give you a little bit of background. These are 170 square feet, each of the rooms, which is very small. It's like being on a cruise. And almost half the room, is taken up by a California king bed. So these are really big beds. If you wanted to put 2 people in here, you could, but I recommend that you know each other very well. It's for very good friends.
Friends with benefits.
Okay, maybe not that.
Yeah.
All right, the rooms also are very technologically, Internet of Things is a thing here. Aaron, you notice that because you have a computer science degree, so you always notice the technology first. So what did you see?
Yeah, I mean, really, these rooms have so much. So you can control a lot from your phone. You can control the lights. You can control the color of the lights. You can control the AC. You can control the ventilation. You can control what the TV's playing. You can do that all from your phone.
From your phone. You can change the channel on your phone.
Yep.
It's pretty remarkable.
It is.
Yeah.
And they also have a little iPad in your room with the app on it, if in case you want a bigger screen to control the room. But yeah, I mean, you can basically control any meaningful thing using your phone. You never have to touch a light switch.
Which is great, because I think that during the pandemic, people didn't want to be touching a light switch or a TV remote control because they thought they might get infected.
Exactly.
Yep.
So a few things that they don't have here. I love to do yoga in the morning, and I like to find a nice soft place to do it. There is the floor is hard, and there is no yoga mat. So I did my stretching exercises on the bed, which turned out to be just fine. There's no mini bar. But there is a refrigerator.
That's good.
And as far as I can tell, there are no laundry facilities. And that's really an interesting thing, because I think a lot of global nomads have to do laundry somewhere. So we would have to go, if we were staying here for longer, we would have to go find a laundromat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just 2 nights. Which is fine.
How about the food? Aaron and I went to breakfast here.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of breakfast?
Breakfast was absolutely great. It had everything that you needed. I mean, it was by no means the best breakfast I've ever had.
It was very British.
It was very British, and it sort of reminded me of the breakfasts we had at South Africa. It's by no means the sorts of breakfast you get in Abu Dhabi, Dubai.
Oh yeah.
In basically UAE, they have the best breakfasts. But here they had, just normal British food. So they have rosti, they've got baked beans.
Yeah.
They have tomatoes.
Toast.
They have porridge. They have
King
some
crumpets.
Yeah, they have.
It wouldn't surprise me. Actually, it's worth discussing what's going on downstairs, because I think this is very similar to a cruise ship in that the rooms are so small, you wouldn't want to be in the room except to sleep and to take a shower. So people go downstairs and congregate down there with that chill hop soundtrack that we were talking about. And they do their work there, and they socialize and get to know other nomads. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like the breakfast that they had there. They were, I love getting my Americanos, and they made a pretty mean decaf Americano, so I was very happy with that.
Yeah, but they also have 4 tins of tea. They've got lots of tea.
It's the UK. They better have good tea here.
I know. And they also have a huge just filter coffee pot. So if you don't want an espresso, you can just take coffee from a huge thing of coffee, but it's not in decaf, of course. But yeah, they have a lot of amenities down there. I mean, they have lots of food for breakfast, which is great. And And other than that, I'm very happy. Like the whole thing is run. It's a smooth operation. Like
Run like a cruise ship. Yeah.
No, it actually reminds me of IKEA because they've got the trays.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, overall, what do you think of CitizenM? I mean, let me just say this one thing. It is in a very good location. We are right across from the Tower of London. But
Ooh.
apart from that, though, what are your impressions? Does this have what mobile travelers, what mobile global nomads need?
I mean, all I would say is include laundry facilities. That's all I can say about
And a
that.
yoga mat.
Everything else is everything you need. You know, you got your bed, shower, all the stuff that you could possibly need, and also a great location. Just laundry facilities.
It's an interesting kind of approach to minimalism. And, you were talking about the Scandinavian way or IKEA, and I think that there's a little bit of an influence there from Scandinavian, where everything gets simplified and minimalized, and so that you just have what you need and nothing more, which I think is really, maybe that's the future of hotels,
Maybe. I think that really, if I were a person and I wanted just one room,
You are a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if I were a person that just wanted one room in London, I would definitely consider this place because really, this is a great room. Like, and it's not too much, and it's not. I mean, I feel like a lot of people know that most hotel rooms are full of a lot of stuff that they don't need, and maybe they don't like that. Maybe they want something that's a little bit more efficient, something that has fewer nooks and crannies to lose items in.
Right, yeah, that's the other thing is you lose things. I mean, we've lost all kinds of things in hotel rooms because they have all these knickknacks and you put things down and you forget about them.
Yeah.
Can't do that here. It's not possible.
No.
Yeah. Well, I would definitely consider this place. I am a person.
You are a person. I'm
Yeah.
a person too. London food scene. We've been here for more than 24 hours and we've actually checked out a couple of places to eat. What do you think, Aiden?
Food scene here, for vegans specifically, is very large, but that doesn't mean it's good. It can be big.
It's British food.
It doesn't matter. It's not about size, it's about technique, and the food here, the technique is a little bit off.
It's not French.
No, it's not French.
Yes, we've just been spoiled by a whole month in Paris.
Yeah.
And British food is just, what can you say? It's not French food.
It's not French food. But I mean, it's not unbearable, but again, we're spoiled. We're so spoiled.
We definitely got spoiled in France.
We got taken for this 12.5% obligatory surcharge at one of these restaurants. And it was horrible. Like, we took their food, and it was disgusting food. And then they charge us 12.5%.
It's a discretionary surcharge.
Yes. And also, this food was not cheap. Like, 12 British pounds is something like $15, $16. And so they're charging us that amount of money for basically, just terrible vegan food. And so that was our first experience here, and it sucked.
I think you left your first 1-star review for the restaurant too.
And so to put things into perspective, when you go from France to the UK, the food quality goes down, the taste goes down, and the price goes up. And on top of all of that, now there are these 12% obligatory surcharges that just were not the case. They weren't anywhere in France.
Let me just say that when we ate yesterday, I'm not going to name the restaurant. I don't want to embarrass them, but I will say that they gave us the bill, and it was higher than we expected. So it came out. The total came to almost $80. But they added a 12% discretionary surcharge. They wouldn't tell us what it was for. And then they said, would you like to add a tip to that? And after the meal that we had, I said, oh man, I just want to pay and get out of here. And I figured the 12% covered the staff tips. So I just left after paying the bill. But I think that this 12% surcharge is just evil. I can't believe that they allow this. I personally have a problem with it. And I'm not going to eat at any more restaurants that have this 12% surcharge, which means I'll be going to a lot of grocery stores probably.
Yeah, and this is the interesting thing about the British food scene too, is that there's a lot of prêt-à-manger. And that's, of course, French for ready to eat. It's just pre-made food, and you find them basically every block. And there are also lots of knockoff brands that are just basically food ready to eat. And British love it you go into any Tesco, they also have ready-made food, a whole section of ready-made food. And I think that that's where a lot of people on the go get their food, because they really can't rely on any restaurant to be A, timely, B, inexpensive. So,
Or even affordable.
well,
Yeah.
inexpensive or even affordable. So I would say this: if you're going here, I really wouldn't go look for a restaurant.
Chez Tesco.
Yeah,
That's
go to
our-
Tesco.
Our place.
I guess that would be your secret for today, Aaron.
Chez Tesco.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go to Tesco. And also, if you are vegan, Tesco has lots of vegan options.
So
They label everything. Everything's carefully demarcated.
There are a lot of vegans here in the UK.
Yes. But I also have a secret, and that is, you might be surprised by this, because you would assume when you import things they get more expensive. But I guess they've just found some way to circumvent that here. But Chipotle is surprisingly well priced.
Well, we found yesterday grapefruits that were half the price that they were in
I'm not
Paris.
finished.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I went to Chipotle, and I came out of there with a drink, which I think the drink is honestly £2 in and of itself, because the drinks here are so expensive. £9. £9. And for a meal, when you compare that to all the other meals that you'd find in the area that are vegan and that are like really, really good, like they'll fill you up, that's a great price. And then one other secret on top of that, and this is just because I'm such a Chipotle aficionado, if you ask for extra rice and extra beans on your bowls at Chipotle, it will be the perfect amount of food, because they always skimp out on the rice and skimp out on the beans, and you eat the whole thing and you're like, well, that was very flavorful, but I'm not full. If you add more rice and you add more beans, boring. It's going to be the perfect bowl.
Rice and beans.
Rice
Okay.
and beans.
Your comments from last week were great. We had this podcast that we did on chocolate tours, and we did a chocolate tour of Paris, and we asked what your favorite chocolate experience was when you were traveling, and you had a lot to say about that. Christine remembers a chocolate tour of San Francisco that she took a couple of years ago. They hit 8 different chocolate shops, and she says Ricciuti Chocolate, located in the Ferry Building, was our absolute favorite. Sadly, some of the shops have since closed, but Ricciuti is still there. Now we know where to go, and we're in San Francisco. Lynn says there is a chocolate shop in Richmond, Virginia called For the Love of Chocolate, great name, that carries individual chocolates and chocolates from around the world. She says some of my favorites are Cadbury from England and German chocolate. German chocolate is great. We are in England now. We're going to have to try Cadbury while we're here. You know?
Oh yes, Cadbury. No, it all has milk in it. Cadbury is
I don't know. Maybe some of it is.
I know
dark
Cadbury
chocolate.
is like the milkiest milk chocolate ever.
Mark wrote to say that we missed one of the best, possibly the best, he says, chocolatier in Paris, Jean-Paul Evin. I'm sure I mispronounced that. He says, Evin is an award-winning chocolatier, pâtissier. He produces a huge variety of single origin bars, usually over 20 to choose from. Sounds so good. From every chocolate producing region in the world. Most of it's in the 70 to 75% range, but several are over 80%, which can be excellent from a good chocolatier. He also says his bars are exceptionally smooth and silky in texture, no matter how dark. Very skillful blending. Thanks for that comment, Mark, and on our next visit to Paris, I know where I'm going. So guys, we're in London for the next month, and we are going to share all of our experiences with you on the Elliott Confidential Podcast. What are you guys looking forward to? Do you have any big plans while you're here?
I'm thinking we have to do the tea scene here. We have to.
Yeah.
We have to figure out, because tea in Britain, it's got to be something there.
Tea and crumpets. That's the
And
national
high
breakfast.
tea.
High tea.
High
Yeah.
tea. Well, you could also just
Um,
call it tea and crumpets, I guess.
I don't know where I would get the high tea, but we have to figure that out. I think that we maybe will do a tour of some sort, and we'll just see how it goes.
I'm so glad that you joined us for this episode of Elliott Confidential Podcast. I'm Christopher Elliott with Aaron Elliott and I'm Elliott here in London. We'll see you next week, guys.
Yep, see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.